Previously, receiving various luxurious gifts from Duke Almondite, Princess Lewellyn became furious at his extravagant gesture but decided to channel the generosity for a good cause by helping the needy people. In the midst of her charitable endeavors, she encountered Ernell, the patron of the Holy Land. Now from here, as he knows about what happened with his presents to Princess Lewellyn, Duke Almondite asks the informer that really all the money was spent on the slum matter, on which the informer confirms him, saying that yes, not a single gift left. The Duke grins as he reflects on the princess's actions, surprising the informer, who wonders why he's happy instead of mad. The Duke asks who was escort of the Princess Lewellyn. He gets amazed on learning that the escort was Commander Tristan, the best knight and the commander of the Empire. Frowning, the Duke wonders why, of all people and as a representative of the Jackat people, Commander Tristan is trying to come between him and the Princess Lewellyn. The Duke waves his hand, signaling for the informer to leave the room. In complete silence, he contemplates the hostile attitude of the commander, who is attempting to act as a boundary between them. He adds that things are getting even more interesting. With a sullen expression, the Duke wonders if everything going on between him and the princess could be resolved. Imagining Princess Lewellyn, he mutters to himself that he really misses her. He states that he was happy and was dreaming, thinking that she wanted them to go back to the way they used to be. However, with the recent meeting with her, he realizes that a past like theirs cannot be easily forgotten. By clenching his palm, he believes that she wants to fool him. But has she really changed to do it this way, or did she have a change of heart? His expression remains in a dejected mood, and he is under pressure to ask himself whether Princess Lewellyn was truly acting. If it is true, it will deeply affect him. Dear viewers, I apologize for the interruption. If you haven't watched the previous segment, I recommend checking it out to avoid confusion with the plot. The playlist is pinned at the end of this video. And if you enjoy my content and want more, please subscribe to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Now, let's dive back into the story. The scene unfolds with a speeding carriage, carrying Princess Lewellyn and patron Ernell as passengers. Internally, the princess mutters that she thought the arriving patron to bless the Duke would be a resentful, shriveled old priest. However, Ernell is surprisingly young. Addressing him as father, she questions Ernell about his business here. In reply, he states that his team often visits to help areas prone to critical living conditions. And, since she was coming here, he also came. With smile, he adds that with God's grace they met as he was in his way to Brighton. The princess is in shock as she misjudged Ernell at the warehouse. But he turns out to be an amazing person with extremely fair skin, complemented by blonde hair that shines like the sun, with amethyst eyes act as the cherry on the cake. And that face with striking delicate lines makes him look like an angel. Ernell compliments that a royal princess helping the poor will surely be recognized as a kind royal member by the impoverished people. She becomes flustered and contemplates that her intention to help them is just to spite the Duke. She confirms to herself that leaving a positive impression on the high-ranking people of the Holy Land is important. She reluctantly declares that she is thinking of dedicating herself to God, leaving him shocked. A bit of silence in the carriage after the declaration makes her think that she might have been too hasty, because in the past, her mother was executed for using black magic to curse a prince, and in result, she was ferociously ordered by the father of the church to stop coming to the cathedral and was suggested to pray from her residence. Clenching her skirt, she ponders that although Ernell is a good person, she doesn't know if he, like other patrons, is also sensitive to black magic. Breaking the silence, he confirms to her that she should not think that he is swayed because of her mother. According to him, a royal lady like her joining their monastery would be an honor to them. Plus, by devoting herself to God, she can erase her mother's sins as well. Ernell reminds the princess that he knows she seems to want to live another way, more freely, but also warns her that there are a lot of rules and restrictions. With full respect, he suggests that she should rethink her decision because it would be a waste for her to be locked up there. But on seeing her a bit uncomfortable, he smiles and expresses his apologies to her if he offended her in any way. Listening to this, she cannot control her blush and reflects that it's been so long since she received such a favor. Eventually, their sweet talk comes to an end as they arrive at the Brighton Kingdom. Commander Tristan is already present to welcome Princess Lewellyn and receives compliments from her for doing a great job. However, he reminds her that he just did what a knight should do and suggests taking her back to her chamber. Ernell bids farewell to the princess, thanking her for the great time during the journey, and asks her to return safely to her residence. In reply, the princess mentions that they will see each other soon. At arriving to her palace, Princess confirms that to herself that she is relieved because the priest does not seem to have noticed her curse mark. Commander Tristan, from behind, wordly suggests to the princess that she should hire some knights for her palace to ensure her safety, as he is not seeing a mere knight here. She just turns back instead of replying and ponders that this man is really courteous, not just doing his duty but also worrying for her. However, she cannot let him get closer to herself by any means. She vehemently orders the commander to remain within his jurisdiction and asks whether he thought to say this to her after a few private talks between them, who lowers his head with sadness. But like a real knight, he apologizes for being presumptuous. At witnessing the princess's unkind nature, the two royal maids whisper between themselves about the princess's cruel personality. After entering her room, Princess Lewellyn quickly closes the doors. Leaning against them, she sighs and takes a break. At close proximity, the maids badmouth her, stating that she is always like that and therefore everyone hates her. They question who would like her when she is so insufferable. By biting her lips, the princess contemplates that she is doing all this to make him hate her, thinking it would be for his own good. The scene unfolds after some days, where the royal family has gathered to witness Duke Almondite receiving the blessing from patron Ernell of the Holy Land. Ernell bestows blessing by asking God to fills the holy power in the Duke veins and asks to protect him. He completes the blessing by radiating the holy blue rays upon the Duke head. Witnessing the Duke's body glows with immense holy powers, the princess contemplates that now he will be protected by God as his body adapts well with the blessing. She also reflects on the circumstances, acknowledging that she might face execution like her mother if Ernell were to notice and find out about her involvement with the demon and the curse upon her. She also contemplates that she should thank the Duke for alleviating her curse by spending that night with her, and wonders about the existence of such a noble light in the world, which is so clean and beautiful, plus it will never approach something as filthy as her. As soon as Ernell gazes in the direction of the princess, the flow of energy captures her attention, leaving her shocked. Her condition starts to worsen, causing her face to turn red, because the demon curse on her back neck awakens, sending a shock that freezes her spine. The brand of Asmodeus that she believed disappeared has re-emerged, proving her wrong in her assumption. King Bastian, seeing her in an odd mood, worryingly asks what is going on with her. He suggests that if she's not feeling well, she should take some rest. Princess, completely drenched in sweat, confirms that her body is slightly hot due to early-stage symptoms. Yet, she must satisfy her lust before losing all reason. In shock, she realizes that she has to do it once, but why now of all times? Meanwhile, the present royal audience is deeply moved, witnessing the grand process of the blessing upon the Duke. With surrounding glows, he looks nothing less than an angel as he slowly opens his eyes. At the completion of the blessing, Ernell states that God's grace will be with the Duke, which leaves a smile on his face. At the other side, the spectators cheer, saying what a happy occasion, and adds that now God and the Duke will protect the Brygian Empire. The Duke turns back, and the princess suddenly blushes as their eyes meet. Her heart pounds fast, and she contemplates that she will go crazy just by making eye contact. Plus, she has no plan on living as a slave to Asmodeus' curse, complying with an unwanted relationship with any man for the rest of her life. She suggests to herself to avoid direct eye contact with the Duke to control her desires. However, this puts a bad impression in front of the whole audience, leaving them to criticize why she is ignoring the Duke who has just been blessed. This also makes the Duke wonder whether she is displeased with the blessing or if something has happened to her. As the occasion of the blessing comes to an end, the audience starts leaving, their spirits lifted by the spectacular event they witnessed. On the other side, in the alone corridor, the Duke follows the princess as she leaves abruptly. He calls her by saying, "Princess, please stop," and listen to his words. But, seeing her pace increasing instead of stopping, he shouts again loudly on her saying, "Lewellyn." As she halts, the Duke furiously asks if she is tarnishing their only remaining good relationship in the eyes of the world by behaving like this in public, announcing to her that he has prepared something for her for the equestrian in a few days. Noting this, she clenches her dress and loudly lashes out that she does not need anything from him and simply wants to be treated like a stranger. That leaves him visually stunned. The princess, unable to control her situation anymore, contemplates that she has to hurry and get away. His voice trembles with fear as he states that she knows damn well he can never treat her as a stranger. She disgustingly looks at him, who lowers his head and ponders that the man, who ignored her for 5 years, is being hypocritical. Out of nowhere, he asks whether she is doing this because she has feelings for Commander Tristan. At the verge of losing her composure, she declares that it is none of the Duke's business. She further adds that she just wants him to stop his actings and warns him never to dare get close to her again. Listening to her words, the Duke bites his lips to suppress his furious feeling. He takes his steps in the direction of the princess and holds her, asking her to give him an order instead of just saying to never get close to her. Noticing him very close to herself, her heart races. The Duke continues to repeat the same words, urging her to go ahead and give him the order. The branded curse eventually starts exerting its extensive control over her. Noting this, she tries to move away from the Duke to avoid the problem getting worse. But with strong grip, the Duke shockingly holds her close to him, making the curse sting. The princess is completely dissolved into her desire with no control over herself. With the gentle caress of the Duke, she is pressured to moan loudly. The Duke is perplexed by the princess's abrupt behavior. He worriedly asks her what is wrong with her and if she is hurt anywhere. Her desire takes control as his thumb reaches her lips slowly. She mutters to herself that if she doesn't get out from here, she will end up doing the same things she did that night with the Duke. As we wrap up today's segment, thank you for being with us until the very end. I'll be sharing fresh videos of this manga and exciting new series every weekend. Your support is invaluable, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your encouragement keeps the channel thriving, and I appreciate it immensely. Until next time, take care and goodbye.